fam? Selamat Barak. I'm in the good old Mary of land, where the people don't act too merry. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. But praise God, grateful for another chance to make another choice. Grateful. Yeah, just had some time per usual to pop in, and not per usual, but had time to pop in, breaking open my watermelon, and let me go ahead and hop on and talk to fam for a little bit while I got some time. Because by the time I get back, I will be going straight to the house. That is for sure. All praises. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit, felt led to. Had some thoughts and had some disciplining for sure. You know, the righteous direction of the Father is known to do that and will for surely do that. So, yeah, but I'm up here in Maryland. I was like, well, while I'm waiting, because I'm going to be waiting, I'm going to go ahead and hop on and talk with the fam a little bit. Shalom Barak fam. But yeah, I'm grateful, you know, when they say Yahweh, or the righteous direction of the Father, you know, it's the Most High. And he is, and I say as he is, and I say his because of the masculine and the feminine energy, right? As he plants things are birthed. So it's a very masculine, as in all this is birthed from him, you know what I mean? But, I mean all seed of him, seed, S-E-E-D, but grateful that to be able to catch what's been going on. 1 second, fam. 1 sec. But yeah, definitely grateful. For 1 second, I had to mute you. Alright, I'm back with y'all, fam. Yeah, I had to get checked in and stuff. But yeah, I was where was I at? I don't know. But that goes with everything that's been going on. I do know where I'm at. Y'all know exactly where I'm at, but it takes me a while to realize where I'm at sometimes. And I was talking to sis, and she was helping me out about, remember, don't make it not a fight, right? Don't make it not a fight. Because if you don't make it not a fight, you get to falling into stuff, and nothing too crazy, but yeah, getting a disciplining from Yah, because the righteous direction of the Father will let you know when you need to stop, when you need to pump your brakes, you know. Reason why, you know, especially this Shabbat, won't be doing the Shabbat this Saturday. Gonna be spending some time with Mama and fam and everything like that. Mama asked if her son could cook on the grill, so that's what her son gonna do. And continue to rest in Yah and everything like that. But I was sitting there, and Yahweh, he's gonna let you know when you're supposed to stop, right? He's gonna let you know when you're supposed to stop. A lot of times when I'm talking and things like that, especially like on Shabbats and things like that, I'll be talking, next thing you know, the thought will be cut off. Not in a bad way, not in a terrible way, but the thought would just be cut off. And I'm over here searching in my mind, like, where in the world was I at? You know, no pun intended, but where was I at? Like, what thought am I trying to grab onto? And Yah, the Most High, what he'll do is he'll keep interrupting things in order for the right thing to be heard and seen and to grasp other things. But yeah, I was sitting there. Yeah, when I'm talking, like, I'll keep getting interrupted, just like then. But it's a sign that you need to go ahead and slow down. You know, make sure you take some time to slow down today. That's all this is. Nothing too crazy. Just hop on here and talk to fam. But yeah, yesterday was definitely one of those days where it didn't get to me, but the day was getting to me. The day was for sure getting to me. I was feeling real short with people and feeling real short just with the situations and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, I need a break. And the last few days, I've been battling tires. I've been battling tires, and I've been seeing a lesson in that. You know, seeing the natural to make sure that you're able to vibe with the supernatural to keep you on point as much as possible. Yes, we're going to forget things. Yes, we're going to be out of tune with things. Yes, things are going to happen to knock us off the way, but don't make it not a fight. You know, and I've been dealing with these tires. So, got this vehicle for a middle vehicle, point A, point B type thing, because the main vehicle, the engine blew, right? Engine's done. Don't have time to fix that. Right now, with the way the economy is, we could be doing better things. So got me that, and I took off, boom. And, you know, I looked at it, all right, needs alignment, cool, I'll deal with that. Tires, you know, you're gonna want to change the tires anyway, but I had no idea how bad the tires were, right? So Salah on all this metaphorical mindset, right? So as I'm driving, I'll drive and the wind will hit the vehicle and it'll make the vehicle swerve back and forth, sway back and forth and stuff. So I'm over here swaying back and forth, and I'm like, man, what's going on? So I look at these tires, my tires are warped, right? Very, very worn out, very, very worn out. So I go to one rise and I get up and I'm looking at the tire and the tire is flat. One of the tires flat behind the driver's side. And I fill it up, I get to work, get off work, it's flat again. I said, okay, cool, gotta replace this tire. So I go up here to replace the one tire. After fighting, because I was like, no, I'm not even gonna do the tire thing, I'm gonna get the alignment first. But with the way toil is, every time I get off of toil and I'll keep on missing the shop. So I'm still driving with these tires, right? So I'm thinking about these tires every day, mind you, it's stressing me, stuff like that. I'm like, man, I got it, but I still gotta make it back and forth to work. And I'm like, man, I'm driving on these tires though. I need to get off early, and every time I try to get off early, nope, nothing. I'll get held up in one spot, I'll get held up in another spot, and but I finally make it to the shop. I get off early, finally make it to the shop, and I'm going to replace the one tire, and they come out there, they're like, hey man, these sets of tires right here, they're good, they're pretty new, and you know, you get 4 of them for $330 $330, get 4 of them. I said, okay, that sounds great. Let's do it. But the whole time I'm standing there, right, this is why you gotta slow down. I'm feeling antsy. I'm feeling real antsy. I'm walking around, I'm looking. I'm like, man, I feel like somebody's looking over me at my shoulder. You know, these are great people. I don't know these people from a can of paint, so I'm not gonna assume the worst in them. But I'm just feeling it. I'm like, what is this on my shoulder? There's something on my shoulder. But I'm still pushing. I'm still going. Right? So I get the tires, boom, I take off. I'm driving, I'm like, oh, this feels great. But I'm gonna continue to test these tires on the road. I think I had enough time. I think this is gonna be enough rest for the vehicle, right? So boom, I take off, I go down the highway, car starts shaking erratically. I mean, the whole steering wheel starts vibrating crazy. I'm like, what in the world is that? Right? What in the world is that? The whole steering wheel is just shaking. So I'm driving, I'm trying to overcorrect a little bit. I'm turning the wheel a little bit to feel what's going on. And next thing you know, boom, tire blows, side of the highway. I'm riding on the rim now, right? Riding on the rim, and I'm on the side of the highway trying to change it. I pull the jack out, not the little scissor wind up jack, but the real jack. I pull that out, get it up under there, change off the tire, right? I'm looking, I was like, man, the whole time, cars passing, trucks passing. I look at the hole, I'm like, what happened to it? There's a big old gash in there. I said, great day, okay. Let me go ahead and get this spare tire out. Sometimes that spare tire, that spare rim is already on there, you don't even know. So I got the car, and they didn't tell me that they had a spare rim, but they had a full-size tire on a spare rim. That's a big no-no. You don't do that. But I didn't know. That's why it was vibrating. That's why it was shaking, because I didn't know. I didn't have a chance. I didn't really slow down. I praise y'all for the safety of that, for sure. So I'm looking at that. I lift up the flap. Where the spare tire is in the back. I'm looking at that. I'm like, huh. Why does this look like a full-size tire on this? So where's the spare? So I'm looking at that rim. I'm looking back and forth. I'm like, why is this rim more shinier than that one? Because it's a different material. Oh, that's a spare rim. They didn't tell me. Set me off just like that. Right? So, long story short, I put on that tire that's in the back. That tire is dry rotted like crazy itself. So I throw that on there anyway. I'm driving. I finally get to a place where I'm finally able to get two used back tires, right? I go to the shop that I usually always go to. They hook me up per usual. I pull off and I'm fine. But with that being said about all the tire situations, sometimes when you think that you're taking a break, when you think you're doing something the smart way, you're really not. You're just prolonging the problem. Sometimes you go to a place where you think that you're getting looked out for, and it's not the place that looks out for you. It's not the right place. It's not home. It's not the place you're supposed to go to. And you know that, but you still go there anyway because you're not slowing down. Many times when I'm sitting outside, I'll slow down and I'll look because the birds will fly over my head. And the one thing I'm afraid of is a bird pooping on me. But the birds flying in the air, they represent the thoughts of the mind in the Bible. So what am I really afraid of? A poopy thought. for these purposes, a poopy thought. But yeah, y'all just really been telling me to slow down and really take a break, because I'll be the one to keep going and keep going and keep going. And sometimes they be like, hey, you need to sit down somewhere. Sit down now. And especially when it comes to my mama, So I said, I want you to do this for me. I said, Mama, I got you. What you mean? I got you. But yeah, that was about it. Because oftentimes, like, the interruptions will come because, like we were talking about earlier, Yahweh's trying to get you to see something, trying to get you to hear something. He'll throw you off track so much, He'll throw you off track so much that you have to try to find your way back. And then when you find your way back, you're not going to connect to the same point again. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. But you be connected to a point that he had for you to connect to at the same time. For real. And what is that? Rest. Rest. So needless to say, next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to be off the tour. I'm going to go Monday, Tuesday. I was trying to stretch it, but just don't even be hard-headed with it. Keep getting irritated, keep getting cut off, Things keep flying in at all these places. Just stop and think about it. Stop and just go outside and look up. Go outside and look up. And just talk. Just talk. It'll come out just fine. That answer will come back around. Matter of fact, I was like so frustrated. You know what it is? Like, you know, you go back home. So I went back home to visit my parents and stuff, and I'm coming around the corner, and there go my dad. And I don't ever take this way going in. I don't ever take this way going in for nothing. So I'm driving down the road, and next thing you know, I'm like, that's my dad. Honk the horn, boop, boop. I get out the car, talk to him. Already I'm feeling better. I go home, see my mama come outside. You know, she's seen it on my face. She's seen it on my face. That's one thing I didn't want to go around there for, because I knew mama, she gonna see it on my face. She said, everything on camera. So yeah, mom, life just life, and it's gonna be okay. You know how we men are. Just brush the stuff off. So I guess this one more so for my brothers. Take a break, man. Take a break. Oftentimes we get caught up in worrying about people, you know, only seeing us for, you know, what we have and what we got and what we doing. That's the first thing's judged. Matter of fact, my TJ, yeah, he posted something in the Discord app talking about the people that came up to talk to him, right? Yesterday too, this happened to me. A Catholic woman came up to me. Didn't know. I'm over there helping my dad doing what we doing, because, you know, we riding around. He was like, well, since we're over here, let's make a trip, you know, go ahead and get some vent session and stuff like that, handle a couple things for mom. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I'm going around, I'm driving up there, and we get to the place we get to, and we get the stuff from my mom, and we're walking there and pay for it, right? And this lady, she's looking, she's a shorter lady. She's looking, you know, I'm kind of a taller guy. She's looking at these flowers, keeps looking, and, you know, she's looking at us as we walk by. And, you know, we make eye contact, and those that know, it's like, what is she looking like that for? But it wasn't like a disgust look. It was more like a curious look, you know what I mean? And, you know, my dad keeps on going in. You know me, I phase back. Something tells me to phase back. So I fade back a little bit, just watching to see, because I see some flowers hanging up. I'm like, well, what if she needs these flowers? You know, that passed through my mind and stuff. As I fade back and have time to rest and actually look at what's going on, right? Because I've had a great talk with my dad. But I'm looking at her, and the lady that works there, there's an older lady that works there. She goes outside and she's like, yeah, I need help, do. And like they both turn around and look at me, like they know that I'm looking. I'm like, yes, ma'am, of course, I got you. I'll help her out, no problem. So I'm helping her out. She said, what about these? What about these? And she's like, what's your name? I said, Stephen. She said, what? Do you know what Stephen means? Do you know Stephen? Stephen's in the, I said, yeah, Stephen's in the Bible. Yeah, Stephen was stoned. She was like, Stephen was a martyr. I was like, correction. All right, I got you. I hear you, yeah. She said, Stephen, mind you, this is a Catholic woman. I didn't know this at this point. She was like, Stephen was a martyr. You know, right there, what it told me is my view was already in the wrong place. My view was on Stephen getting stoned. And she was like, no. He was a willing sacrifice to take things, to be an example, and to show the works of the Most High in him. You know, that's what he chose to do. And even who he was affected by later on, they had him. He ended up being a witness himself later on, you know? And I'm like, dang. She's like, no. He was a martyr. And I was like, yes. She was like, so you know though? I was like, yeah, I know. And so she's like, oh, can we walk to the other side? I want to see some different colors. And you know, I love them colors. She's looking for the purples and the orange. She was like, I really want the red and the whites. Remember that part, right? I just got that just now. That's crazy. She was like, I really want some red and the whites with the oranges and stuff like that. And we're looking. So I pulled out a couple of them, and she was like, hey, I got something for you. And you know how we are. No, I'm okay. She was like, because I'm thinking she's gonna give me a couple dollars. I'm like, no, it's okay. It's fine. She's like, no, you never deny a gift, right? And I was like, all right. You got me again. Let's walk. She's like, walk me to my car. So we're walking. She was like, you know, I used to be Buddhist, right? I'm like, nah, I didn't know that. I was like, okay. She was like, are you Christian? Are you Catholic? No, she said, are you Christian? Are you something? I'm like, no, I'm a follower of the way. Let's go with that. And she was, sorry, I had a phone call, but she was like, yeah, what do you, this, and this? I'm like, no, follower of the way. And she's like, oh, okay, because we're all God's children. I was like, yeah. I was like, she was like, do you believe? I was like, yeah, I believe in the way. She's like, you're a good person. You know, you do good things. And that's all it really it goes down to, you know, with some extra things. And you know, she goes in the car, blah, blah, blah. She's handing me pamphlets and stuff like that. She's talking. She was like, I love Catholicism because of this, this, and this. And, you know, usually for coming from my side, it's like you start automatically getting into the and start cutting stuff off. But y'all's just like, nah, shut up, listen. I'm like, okay, mind you, I'm having the most frustrating day, and it's all coming at this point. It's all coming to a head at this point, and it's just the most opposite of everything. Like, I'm over here looking at plants and herbs, and then I'm helping a lady with flowers. I'm not too into flowers, you know. And then that's, you know, this little, she's a little lady, like she's like a 4'2" lady, and then she ends up being Catholic. I'm just like, yeah, what is this? He said, that's my children. Those are my creation. And you know, before you end up going too far on things and maybe hurting somebody's feelings, you need to go ahead and sit down somewhere. But you see how you felt when you just had time to sit there and like help this lady in the store and help her with the flowers and help her with this, and you felt great. And even my dad, when I got back in the car, he was like, you know who that was, right? And I looked at him. I was like, what? No. I don't know that lady from a can of paint. And he was like, do you know who that was, right? And in my mind, again, I'm like, no, because she was Catholic. And he was like, again, you know who that was, right? And I looked, I was like, yeah, that's God, that's the Most High. That's what that was. Frustrating as all get out. I mean, I'm having a day. I ain't gonna hold you. And I had to get to myself too. Like, make sure y'all have y'all boundaries and y'all space, and those that really rock with you, they'll understand. Because like, I'll get calls and stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I just don't have the get out and do this. Like, I know if I give this energy here, I just saved up this little bit of energy, and if I'm ready to give it right back out again. I'm ready to give it right back out, and I just saved this little bit, you know. And there's seasons for that. There's times for that. There's seasons, but it's not always that season. It's not always that time. Be mindful how we're in time, and these things go on, and everything's an out of time message in time. So it makes it hard to communicate things across the board. Everything is in time, but yet it's a supernatural message that has nothing to do with time. Just a point. Just a pin dot, just a notch on the clock, just a, you know. But make sure you have time to realize that it's day and night. That's it. Remove the calendar, remove the noise, remove the hunks and bunks and all that stuff, and there is day and there is night. That's it. See how sometimes like that can even rattle the mind, like, yeah, it is just day and night. But you see your mind just starts to run. It tries to run again. It tries to run. It tries to take off. Like, I know my mind, I can and I will. I'm gonna take a break, but it's like my mind, the way it works, I have an inner dialogue 24/8 or 25/8. How about that? I got an inner dialogue going on, and every time I stop and I'll have a second, I'm like, hey, Steven, stop. And it'll stop, but then boom, it'll start back up again. I can't help it at this moment. Even right there, striketh of the tongue. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? You can't do it. But yeah, my mind, it's a constant dialogue. And then I hear there's people that have no inner dialogue, and I'm like, what is that? You don't hear nothing inside your head, you know? But when your brain is constantly looking like, all right, what's next? What's this? What's that? But yeah, but this, but that, but this, but that, you know? But it's all here. It's all in the physical. It's all flesh. It's all material. Everything we see out the eye, everything we think in the mind, everything we use these bodies for, these fingers and toes and ambidextrous ways and things like that, if that even made sense there, but make it make sense there. It's all flesh. It's all flesh. It's all the things that we touch and all the things that we see. And everything is of Yah. Everything is of Yah. Even the trash. That's what's crazy. And that's not even disrespectful. Even the trash. Nothing can be if it's not Yah. Nothing can be if it's not the Most High. Literally. The knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of righteousness and of evilness. You know what that is? That's just that's because way back then we figured out and had knowledge of these things, so that other those bad thoughts and stuff in our head, it's still the Most High. It's still the Most High. But there's consequences to those things. Yeah, there's a waste principle, exactly. It has to be. It has to make sense. It has to make sense. And then people be like, yo, I had this thought in my head and that's terrible. That's got to be the adversary. Well, who's the adversary of? What makes them so different? We just got different containers. Just like the messengers that are more spiritual in a body form than we are, that we can't see but they can see us. You know, same soul, same of Yah, same of the Most High, same problem, same issue, still knowledge of good and evil, but yet they make that choice. That remnant of a remnant, come on now, they make that choice. They make the same choice that we do. Remember, there's fallen angels too, right? Those ones apparently didn't make the right choice. They make the same choice every day, and they're just that much closer to the Father. So what's the difference? You know, obviously there's a difference, so chill. But, like, they're even more concerned about us. Everything's about what's happening here and around. They fight over the same things and go through the same issues and still say yes or no to things. And, you know, they still have a choice every time. Yeah, Jehovah, the Most High, I would be like, hey, we need to do this for this person. They're like, nah. He's like, well, I guess you're a fallen one. Boom, there you go. That's a fallen messenger. It's a fallen way. Those are the thoughts in our mind. That's just the knowledge of good and evil. Because what the adversaries say in the beginning, surely you won't die. No, you won't. But that innocence will. Now you got conviction of the heart. Now you got the pride of life. Now you got flesh. You got flesh all upon you. You know? Because you wanted to know something. And that's honestly where you have to do. You have to want to know something. You have to want to know the next thing. You know? You have to. But we'll figure it out. We shall figure it out. We'll get some rest. Even with the quote-unquote day of rest, right? A day is a period of time. And my hard-headed self would think a day is to give me some rest. It's not the same day, Stephen. It's not the same day. This is not the same day that Yah has. Yah is just, it's a period of time. It's a period of time. And apparently my period of time needs to be more than just that one day or 2 days or whatever. Been going through and been fighting a lot in life since, what, a couple years ago. Been going through situations with different people in my life, and the big heart being a big heart. And, you know, we were talking about that before. Watch that big heart. Because it'll put you in a place where you're so tired and taking it out on the same people that you got a big heart about. You know, caring too much. Caring too much, you know, you can't ever care too much, because Most High, can't nobody care more than the Most High about his creation, but you can care too much to carry yourself into a thing where you got all this weight on you and that you don't need. You don't need. The real ones will let you get your space. They'll let you. Don't be afraid of losing people. That might be the process. Who knows? Somebody might have to say, forget you. You might have to see some narcissism in somebody. You know? But the way you handle it is what's going to bring it together. You know, you're needed. You are needed. You are needed. Sometimes, you know, that 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 minutes of breathing time, you need more than that. You need more than that. Just because you got all your tires on your vehicle don't mean you're balanced. That's a nice one. Just because you got all the tires on your vehicle don't mean you're balanced. And then you're going too fast with a rim that ain't supposed to be going that fast. You got all this shaking and vibrating, but yet you're ignoring the signs. I can make it a little bit longer. You're ignoring the signs. You know, stop ignoring the signs. Because of your love of Yah, you know. Because of your love of Yah, that's really all it is. Like, I love the Most High so much. I just want to keep doing it, and if I don't do it, I feel like crap. You know. And if I keep doing His will, Am I really tired? I get to psyching myself in like that. Like, am I really tired if I'm still doing His will? Am I supposed to be tired? Am I complaining? That overzealous. Come on now. Come on now. That joke's real. And then it's funny because you get back to the same point every time. Like, I knew better. I knew daggone well better. What was I thinking? Oh man. But praise y'all. Praise y'all. Back in the right frame of mind. Still tired, but now I know that there's a point of rest that we'll be getting to. We'll be gotten to. Will be. That's one thing my dad told me too. He was like, yo, make sure. Oh man, am I on the Bluetooth? I was too. Dang, my bad, y'all. I didn't know I was on the Bluetooth the whole time. But yeah, what's the name? Well, interrupted thought. We're going on to the next thing. Going on to the next thing. Yeah, because oftentimes one thing is I notice is that it be the tone sometimes. You know what I mean? Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a little walking walk. Yeah, a lot of times it's not even that you're saying the wrong things too. Sometimes it's your tone, right? Sometimes it's just your tone, but your tone gives access to different things. Uh-oh, echo. Yeah, your tone gives access to things though. But sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. My mind tone is different than the tone that I want to go in. But it's the tone that off ends things. You know what I mean? Not offends things, but off ends things. It's like how you're able to receive certain things. You know, sometimes you got to hear it a certain way, and it comes out your mouth in a certain tone because it has to, for that person to register it, for that person to be like, hey, what you just say to me? Or who you think you're talking to? Or, you know, but you had to say it that way. You know, thanks sis for helping me with that too, because I was feeling guilty about some things. You know, just doing bold actions, but I'm just like, I just have to move this way. I have to move boldly. But it affects that person. Sometimes, like, some people might see it as rude. No, I'm not being rude. I'm just saying in a way that this makes you remember, apparently. Because everything else I've said, that went out the window when you heard this. You know? It's about being stern sometimes. It's about just standing your ground super firmly and let you know this is not a thing to play with. Right? But sometimes you'll get that tone and you'll get to feeling bad about it. That's something I realized too. Once I start feeling bad about the moves I have to make, that gets crazy. You know, that gets crazy. Once I start feeling bad about the moves that I have to make, I got to start looking at myself. You know, I have to. I have to start looking at myself. But then again, you don't ever hear unless you're confronting somebody. You're confronting something. You know? How else would you hear if you're not confronting something? There has to be a confrontation. There has to be and if people hear confrontation, they think a bad thing. I'm not saying a battle. I'm not saying a terrible war, but everything's a fight. Don't make it not a fight. You know? You learn from confrontation. You learn from conversation. You know? Conferring and conversing. And sometimes, you know, a person's not going to know what kind of tone that you need to hear something in. Ever think about that? That person's not going to know in that moment not to say it like this, or Don't drag it out, or don't be more overemphasized, or don't do this. You didn't tell him any of that. You didn't tell him any of that. Oh man, you didn't tell him any of that. How are they supposed to know? And I like seeing stuff like that. Don't it look like a Vav being nailed in the righteous direction? It's like a hammer in the nail. That V in that line, that hammer in the nail, being nailed to the righteous direction. You know, I look for stuff and I see stuff like that. You know, as I'm talking, it makes me comfortable. I don't want to trip over that. That looks dangerous. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I reckon whatever. I guess all this is don't make it not a fight. Don't make it not a fight, but be able to see and look and be able to catch on to what God has in front of you. Because it could be something so out of whack. I remember that lady at the Home Depot. We were at Home Depot. A lady at Home Depot. She was talking to me and she gave me all these rosary beads and she was like, "Oh, that part I forgot." So she was like, it's not. She said something about this and she was like, the date. You know, how do y'all have anything? And she was going into the debate, right? The debate about things, and I'm just smiling and nodding. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. Y'all's like, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm hearing everything wrong. But the whole time I'm taking it. The whole time I'm fixed. I don't even get it right then. I'm fixed right there. I don't even get it. Y'all see, that's how y'all work. She'll have you in situations that fixes you, that makes you fixed, quote unquote. But you can't even catch it sometimes. You can't even catch it. The whole time she's talking, I'm being a great soul of a person. All right, the truck moving. I'm about to back in now, but yeah, being a great soul of a person. And she said it's all about the blood and all about the body. You know, it's all about that. It's all about the blood. It's all about the body. That goes into many different places. It's all about the passion and it's all about the word. You know, did you lose your passion? Because you can't lose the word. If you know it, you know it. It's stuck in you. Maybe you just lost your passion. Oh, Tom Lady don't even know that she's preaching to. Because why did you even get irritated? Because you might have lost your passion. But yeah, fam, I might matter of fact, yeah, I might hop back on here. Because by the time I get parked and everything, it's gonna take a little bit. So yeah, brief intermission. I'll be right back. I won't get in trouble for driving and parking and all that stuff, but I'll Shalom Barak fam, Shalom Barak, and I'll be right back.